Welcome to heaven, backed, where faith meets motivation and every struggle becomes a step toward strength. Chosen one, you were told to watch alone for a reason, chosen one. Stop everything. Right now, stop scrolling. Stop the multitasking. Stop splitting your attention between this and anything else. Chosen one, listen closely, because what I am about to say is not ordinary. It is a message meant for your heart, your soul, and your destiny. You have been standing in the shadows, waiting, wondering, praying, and hoping for a breakthrough that seems so far away. You've whispered secrets to God in the quiet of the night, tears staining your pillow, heart heavy with longing, wondering if God Himself is listening. I see you, I know you, I feel the weight you carry, and I'm here to tell you, the time has come. The moment is now. Heaven is leaning in, angels are poised, and God Himself is saying to you, stop waiting, stop doubting, stop questioning, open immediately. You've been running on empty, carrying burdens no one else can see, fighting battles no one else knows, and feeling invisible in a world that moves so fast. But chosen one, hear this. God has never forgotten you. He has been preparing you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Every tear, every prayer, every sleepless night was not wasted. It was crafting a vessel ready to receive the impossible. Isaiah 64:4. For since the beginning of the world, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love Him. Your heart has been tested, your faith has been stretched, your patience has been tried, and yet here you are, still breathing, still believing, still longing. That is courage, that is strength, that is resilience. And now, God is saying, with urgency that cannot be ignored, open immediately, step forward. Respond to the whisper of the Spirit. Do not delay. The life, the purpose, the blessings, the destiny that you have been praying for are not just coming. They are ready, waiting for your yes. Open immediately, chosen one, because the world cannot give you what heaven has already prepared. Open immediately, because the door to your destiny will not remain closed forever. Open immediately, because the miracle, the breakthrough, the alignment, the love, the restoration, and the favor that God has been holding in readiness for you are waiting for your obedience. You may feel unready. You may feel afraid. You may feel too broken, too weak, too ordinary. But hear me clearly. God does not call the ready. He qualifies the called. He does not choose the perfect. He perfects the willing. 1 Corinthians 1:27. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Today, in this moment, the call is personal. The invitation is urgent. The message is clear. Open immediately and step into the fullness of the life you were created to live. Open immediately, chosen one, because the delay has done enough damage already. You've walked through nights where the silence seemed unbearable. You've whispered prayers that you thought were falling into emptiness. You've questioned whether God sees your pain, whether He hears your cries, whether He remembers your name. But let me tell you this, the same God who parted the Red Sea, who sent manna in the desert, who raised the dead, He has never forgotten you. Isaiah 49:15. Can a woman forget her nursing child that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Even these may forget, yet I will not forget you. He sees you, He knows you, He is working while you think nothing is happening. I know it feels like life has been moving on without you. You see doors closing, opportunities slipping through your fingers, people walking past, seemingly finding what you have been praying for, and you feel invisible. But chosen one, that invisibility is not rejection. That silence is not denial. That waiting is not abandonment. God is aligning everything in a way that your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your life will meet what you have been praying for at exactly the right moment. Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. You have been trained in ways you don't even realize. You have been refined in ways that were uncomfortable, but necessary. You've been hurt, yes, but not destroyed. You've been disappointed, yes, but not abandoned. You have been delayed, yes, but not denied. And now God is saying, stop, open immediately. The time has come for breakthrough. The time has come for breakthrough. The time has come for purpose to meet preparation. Open immediately, because faith without action is incomplete. You've been believing, you've been hoping, you've been praying, but God's kingdom requires movement. It requires obedience. It requires the willingness to respond when the door swings open, when the word comes alive, when the Spirit moves. James 2:17, so also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Faith that is passive will not see miracles. Faith that is responsive, faith that is immediate, faith that is willing to open, faith like that is unstoppable. Chosen one, you've been carrying burdens no one else sees. You've been fighting battles no one else knows. You've been holding tears no one else will wipe. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing. That is strength. That is courage. That is resilience. And God is saying, stop struggling on your own. Open immediately, and I will carry what you cannot carry. I will fight what you cannot fight. I will deliver what you cannot deliver. You may be afraid of failure, afraid of rejection, afraid of being hurt again, afraid of trusting too soon, loving too deeply, hoping too long. But chosen one, God does not call the fearless, He calls the faithful. He does not demand perfection, He demands surrender. 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Your weakness is not a liability, it is the arena in which God's power is revealed. Your vulnerability is not danger, it is the gateway for divine intervention. Your hesitation is not failure, it is the moment when God's voice becomes loudest, if only you will open and listen. Stop thinking you have to figure it all out. Stop thinking you have to understand every detail. Stop thinking you have to be ready in your own strength. Open immediately. Let God's Spirit move in the spaces where your understanding fails. Let His wisdom fill the gaps where your knowledge ends. Let His power break the chains that have bound you in fear, doubt, and limitation. Isaiah 40:31. Isaiah 40:31. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. You see, chosen one, the door that God is opening is not just any door. It is the door to your destiny, the door to purpose, the door to calling, the door to the fullness of life He has been preparing for you since before you were born. Ephesians 2:10, for we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. And if you stay closed, that door will swing open without you. That's not punishment, that's consequence. Obedience unlocks blessing. Delay delays blessing. Hesitation delays your inheritance. Stop trying to make everything perfect. Stop waiting for clarity on every step. Stop measuring your worth by other people's standards. Open immediately, because God sees more than the world sees. He knows more than you know, and He will guide you perfectly if only you will trust and open. Some of you have been waiting for validation from people, waiting for someone to notice you, to call you, to approve you, waiting for affirmation from the wrong sources, when all along God has been your audience, your advocate, your strength, your deliverer. Open immediately to the truth that your value is not determined by people, but by the Creator who formed you, who knit you together in your mother's womb, who has numbered your days and appointed your steps. Psalm 139, 1:3, 1:6. Open immediately because time is moving whether you are ready or not. Seconds, minutes, days, they keep passing. Opportunities that God has prepared for you cannot be caught while your heart is closed. Miracles cannot be received if your hands remain clenched. Wisdom cannot enter if your mind is locked in fear. Peace cannot descend if your heart is barricaded with pride, pain, or hesitation. Open immediately. Do not underestimate the power of obedience in this moment. Obedience is the heartbeat of faith. Obedience is the gateway to miracles. Obedience is the key that turns promise into reality. When God commands, open, and you obey. Heaven itself aligns. Angels are dispatched. Circumstances shift. Favor is released. Chains break. Mountains move. Joshua 6:20. The wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And I know, chosen one, you may feel unworthy. You may feel too broken, too tired, too scarred, too small, too ordinary. But the truth is, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He does not pick the perfect. He perfects the chosen. He does not need you to be strong in yourself. He only needs you to be willing to open, willing to trust, willing to surrender. That willingness is enough to move mountains. That willingness is enough to release miracles. That willingness is enough to step into destiny. Stop delaying. Stop procrastinating. Stop making excuses. Open immediately and let the Spirit move. Open immediately and let your faith rise. Open immediately and let the Word speak. Open immediately and let the Word speak. Let God's plan unfold. Open immediately and walk boldly into the life you have been praying for, preparing for, and hoping for. Some of you have been holding grudges, holding on to bitterness, holding on to pain from the past. Open immediately to forgiveness, not for them, but for you. Open immediately to grace, not for what you've done, but for what God is about to do. Open immediately to mercy, not because you deserve it, but because God is ready to pour it into your life. Matthew 6:14-15. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. You've been trying to navigate life with clenched fists, guarded hearts, and closed doors. But God is saying, open immediately and see what I've been preparing. Open immediately and step into the fullness of my promise. Open immediately and stop trying to live in the shadows when I've called you to the light. Chosen one, this is not a rehearsal. This is not a test. This is not an option. This is the moment. This is your appointment with purpose. This is your divine invitation. This is your opportunity to align with the will of God in a way that will change your life, your family, your community, and your world. Stop. Stop everything else. Stop doubting. Stop doubting. Stop fearing. Stop hiding. Open immediately. Let God in. Let Him speak. Let Him move. Let Him heal. Let Him restore. Let Him bless. Let Him guide. Let Him direct. Let Him direct. Let Him use you in ways bigger than you ever imagined. Let Him release the destiny that has been waiting for your obedience. And I promise you, chosen one, the moment you open immediately, you will feel it. You will sense it. You will know it. Peace will descend. Power will flow. Clarity will awaken. Joy will rise. And everything that has been delayed, everything that has been broken, everything that has been doubted will begin to align. Miracles will start appearing. Favor will begin to shift in your direction. Doors will swing open that have been closed for years. Revelation 3:7. These things says He who is holy, He who is true, He who has the key of David, He who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. The key is in your response. The key is in the moment of choice. Will you open immediately, or will you stay closed and let life pass by? Will you step into God's plan, or will you cling to fear, doubt, and hesitation? Will you trust the one who never fails, or will you rely on yourself and risk missing what he has for you? Open immediately. Don't think about it. Don't rationalize it. Don't wait for comfort or certainty. Open immediately and let God's Spirit do what only He can do. Chosen one, hear me. The moment you've been waiting for is not coming by chance. It is not arriving because the world says it should. It is arriving because God says it is time, and timing with God is not negotiable. Galatians 4:4. But when the fullness of the time came, God sent forth His Son, born of a woman, born under the law. The fullness of your time is now, and the question is, will you open or will you stay closed? I know your heart. I know the battles you fight in silence. I know the nights when tears soak your pillow and you whisper prayers into the dark, asking God to remember you, to move for you, to bless you. I know the way you've carried your burdens alone, believing that strength is the absence of struggle. But that is a lie from the enemy. True strength is found in surrender. True courage is found in obedience. True peace is found in opening immediately to the hand of God. You've been trying to figure it all out on your own. You've been relying on your own wisdom, your own understanding, your own strength. But listen to me, chosen one, Proverbs 3:5. Does not lie. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Stop thinking your understanding is enough. Stop trying to force the steps. Stop believing that the pressure you feel is a sign you're failing. Open immediately and let God direct your path, because His way is perfect. I see some of you nodding your head, feeling that tug in your spirit, that stirring you can't ignore. That's the Spirit of God whispering to you. Now is the time. Open, receive, step, and I need you to know, hesitation is costly. Every moment you stay closed, you miss opportunities to experience the fullness of life that God has prepared for you. You miss miracles, you miss restoration, you miss blessing. Stop telling yourself, I'll wait until I feel ready. Stop saying, I'll open when the timing feels right. There will never be a perfect moment outside of God's command. The perfect moment is when He says, open now. Ecclesiastes 11:4. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. The longer you delay, the more you sow hesitation, and the more you reap disappointment. You may be afraid of what opening means, afraid of change, afraid of responsibility, afraid of exposure, afraid of failure. But chosen one, fear is not from God. Fear is the enemy trying to keep you from your destiny. God did not create you to live in fear. He created you to live in freedom, to walk boldly, to love fully, to serve faithfully, to fulfill purpose abundantly. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Open immediately to courage, not fear. Open immediately to trust, not doubt. Open immediately to obedience, not procrastination. Open immediately to the Word, not the whispers of the world. Open immediately, because God is ready to move in ways you cannot imagine. He is ready to restore what has been lost. He is ready to bless what has been delayed. He is ready to elevate what has been hidden. Some of you are thinking, what if I fail? Chosen one, failure is only real if you refuse to open. The moment you obey, the moment you respond, the moment you trust, you are already succeeding. God honors willingness more than ability. He values obedience more than perfection. 1 Samuel 15:22. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen than the fat of rams. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be prepared in your own strength. You only have to open immediately and let Him do what only He can do. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's vulnerable. I know it feels risky. But let me tell you something. God specializes in uncomfortable situations. He thrives in the impossible. He moves powerfully where humans cannot. He transforms weakness into strength, mourning into joy, despair into destiny. And chosen one, He is waiting for your yes. He is waiting for your response. He is waiting for you to open immediately and step into the movement of His hand in your life. Stop carrying grudges. Stop holding on to pain. Stop living in the shadows of your past. Open immediately to forgiveness. Forgive those who have hurt you. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you think are unforgivable. Forgive the delays, the detours, the disappointments. Forgiveness does not erase what happened, but it opens your heart to receive what God is about to do. Colossians 3:13, bear with one another and forgive each other if anyone has a complaint against another. Even as Christ forgave you, so you also must. Open immediately to hope. Open immediately to joy. Open immediately to restoration. Open immediately to the blessings that have been waiting for you. Because while you've been hesitating, the enemy has been watching, waiting for you to remain closed. But when you open immediately, chains break, walls fall, the blind see, the mute speak, the sick rise, doors swing wide open. And what God does in obedience is unstoppable. I see some of you thinking about relationships, thinking about love, thinking about who will come into your life, who will support you, who will walk with you. Stop waiting for a person to save you. Stop waiting for a human to complete you. Open immediately to God first and watch how He orchestrates everything else. When God opens your heart, He prepares you to receive what is best. He aligns timing. He aligns character. He aligns purpose. And that is how divine connections are made. Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Chosen one, open immediately to your calling. Open immediately to your gifts. Open immediately to your destiny. Stop living in hesitation. Stop living in fear. Stop living in doubt. Open immediately and step into the life you were created for. The life God has been preparing since before you were born. The life that has purpose, meaning, and eternal impact. Open immediately and become the person you were designed to be. Some of you are thinking, what if I'm not ready? Let me tell you, readiness is a lie when God calls. He does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He does not wait for perfection. He waits for obedience. Exodus 4:12, now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to have everything under control. You do not have to be fearless or flawless. You only have to be willing to open immediately, willing to trust, willing to obey. Stop waiting for signs from the world. Stop waiting for approval from people. Stop waiting for circumstances to feel perfect. Open immediately, because God's signs are in the Word, in the Spirit, in your heart. Open immediately, because God's approval is all you need. Open immediately, because the timing is His, and He never misses. And I know it is not easy. I know it feels risky. I know it requires faith. But faith is exactly what God is calling you to right now. Faith that moves from thinking into act. Ion. Faith that says, I will open immediately. Even if I don't understand, even if I'm scared, even if I feel unworthy. Faith that steps into the invisible, trusting the invisible hand of God to guide every step. Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Open immediately, chosen one, because the blessing cannot be received through delay. The promise cannot be fulfilled through hesitation. The destiny cannot be unlocked through fear. Open immediately, because God's hand is reaching for you right now. Open immediately, because heaven is moving. Open immediately, because everything you need is already prepared. All you need to do is respond. Stop what you're holding on to. Stop your doubts. Stop your fear. Stop your excuses. Open immediately and let God's Spirit flood your life. Let Him heal what is broken, restore what is lost, bless what is delayed, and fulfill what has been promised. You were chosen for this moment. You were chosen for this assignment. You were chosen for this calling. You were chosen to be a blessing, to step into destiny, to carry purpose, and to shine light in darkness. Do not waste another second. Stop running from obedience. Stop hiding from the call. Stop hesitating because of fear or uncertainty. Open immediately and step boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Chosen one, I need you to hear this as if it were spoken directly into your soul. The delay you have been enduring has not been in vain. Every tear, every sigh, every sleepless night has been shaping you. Every moment of questioning, every moment of longing, every moment you thought you couldn't take it anymore, has been forming a vessel fit for the blessings that are on the way. Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose. Stop believing that your struggles are punishment. Stop believing that your waiting is meaningless. Stop believing the lie that God forgot you. Open immediately and see how all those pieces, the pain, the patience, the preparation, come together to reveal the masterpiece He's been creating in your life. I know some of you are thinking, but what if I open and it's not what I expected? What if the blessing isn't real? What if it's too much or too late? Chosen one, let me tell you something. God's blessings are always right, always timely, and always transformative. What He has prepared will surpass every expectation, heal every wound, and restore every loss. Ephesians 3:20. Now to Him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Stop hesitating because you fear the unknown. The unknown is where God's power meets human faith. The unknown is where the miraculous begins. The unknown is where destiny unfolds. Open immediately, chosen one, because this is a pivotal moment in your life, a defining moment, a moment that will determine whether you continue living in half-life, holding onto what's familiar and safe, or whether you step fully into the calling, the purpose, the destiny God has been preparing for you. Every second of delay is a second of opportunity lost. Every moment of hesitation is a moment the enemy can exploit. But the moment you open immediately, you declare victory, you declare faith, and you declare that God is in control. Some of you have been carrying wounds from relationships, from broken trust, from disappointment, from betrayal. You've been hiding parts of yourself, guarding your heart, shielding your spirit. And God is saying, stop. Stop guarding. Stop hiding. Stop holding back. Open immediately to forgiveness, to healing, to restoration, to love. Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. The chains of the past can no longer hold you when you open to the present and embrace the future God has for you. Open immediately, because the longer you remain closed, the heavier the weight becomes. Pain becomes habit. Fear becomes second nature. Doubt becomes your companion. But when you open immediately, freedom rushes in, peace floods your soul, joy awakens within you, the Spirit begins to move, and the blessings of heaven are released in your life. I see some of you thinking about your purpose, about your calling, about the dreams you've held onto in secret, the ones you've whispered in prayer, the ones you've dared to hope for. Open immediately to the call of God on your life. Open immediately to the assignment that only you can fulfill. Open immediately to the opportunities, the connections, the favor, the doors that He is lining up for you. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Stop thinking you have to figure it all out on your own. Stop believing you have to be perfect. Stop waiting for a recondition to be just right. Open immediately and watch how God orchestrates the impossible. Watch how He arranges situations, aligns people, and opens doors that you could never engineer with your own hands. Stop relying on your understanding and start trusting His. Some of you are waiting for validation from the wrong sources, waiting for applause from people, waiting for recognition from the world. But chosen one, God's affirmation is all you need. His approval is what matters. Galatians 1:10. For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God, or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. Stop looking for the world's nod and open immediately to the Father's affirmation. Stop trying to impress and start obeying. Stop chasing recognition and start walking in purpose. You may feel like your life is too complicated, too messy, too broken. Chosen one, that's exactly where God works best. That's exactly where His power shines brightest. That's exactly where miracles happen. Luke 1:37, for nothing will be impossible with God. Stop thinking your limitations define you. Stop thinking your past mistakes disqualify you. Open immediately and let God's grace cover every area you think is too far gone. Let His mercy breathe life into every dead place. Let His love transform every scar into a testimony. Open immediately because God's timing is perfect. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, this moment, His timing is sovereign and His plans are flawless. Habakkuk 2:3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Stop resisting, stop hesitating, stop procrastinating. Open immediately and step into the fullness of His promise. If you are afraid to trust again, afraid to love again, afraid to hope again, afraid to give your heart to God completely because you've been hurt, disappointed, or let down before, but chosen one, that is exactly why you must open immediately. Because faith is not about never being hurt. Faith is about stepping forward in obedience despite fear. Faith is about trusting God's heart more than your own pain. Faith is about believing His word over your circumstances. Romans 5:3. 5. Tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. Open immediately and let hope rise again in your life. Stop trying to control the outcome. Stop trying to manipulate the situation. Stop trying to force what God has already promised. Open immediately and let Him work. Open immediately and release your grip on worry, doubt, and fear. Open immediately and allow God's wisdom, favor, and power to guide you. Some of you have been running from your calling, hiding from your purpose, delaying the destiny that has been written for you. Stop. Stop hiding. Stop delaying. Stop questioning. Open immediately. Step into the assignment that God has uniquely designed for you. Step into the work only you can do. Step into the impact only you can make. Step into the blessing only you can carry. Step into the blessing only you can carry. Open immediately, because heaven is ready to move. Angels are poised. Opportunities are aligned. Doors are swinging open. Chains are breaking. Walls are falling. Mountains are being moved. But you cannot see any of it if you remain closed. You cannot receive any of it if your heart remains locked. Open immediately and let the supernatural invade your natural. I know it will feel uncomfortable. I know it will feel risky. I know it may feel overwhelming. But chosen one, that is, God shows up. That is where miracles happen. That is where faith becomes sight. That is where your obedience meets His promise. Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Open immediately and feel His presence surround you, strengthen you, and guide you. Some of you are carrying burdens you were never meant to bear alone. Stop. Stop struggling in silence. Stop pretending you have it all together. Open immediately to God's strength. Open immediately to His guidance. Open immediately to His provision. Open immediately to His peace. Philippians 4, 6, 7. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Chosen one, I know some of you have been waiting for doors to open, blessings to arrive, relationships to be restored, opportunities to manifest. But listen to me, waiting alone is not enough. Waiting passively is not faith. You must open immediately. You must act in obedience. You must respond to the whisper of the Spirit. You must step forward, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels risky, even if it feels unknown. Stop delaying your destiny. Stop delaying your blessing. Stop delaying your breakthrough. Open immediately and step into the life God has been preparing for you. The life filled with purpose, joy, peace, and abundance. The life that will glorify Him and bless the world. The life that will leave a legacy. The life that will carry your testimony. Chosen one, I need you to hear this as if heaven itself is speaking directly to your soul. The time for hesitation is over. The season of waiting in the shadows is finished. You have been standing at the door, peering through the cracks, wondering if God is even paying attention. But He is. He has been watching, orchestrating, and preparing something far greater than you can comprehend. Psalm 33:11, the counsel of the Lord stands forever, the plans of His heart to all generations. You may feel invisible, overlooked, forgotten, but nothing escapes the eyes of God. Stop trying to live in the past. Stop reliving mistakes, failures, and disappointments. Stop clinging to what has already gone wrong. Open immediately, chosen one, because the moment you release what was, you create space for what will be. Open immediately, because God's best cannot enter into a life still filled with yesterday's grief. Open immediately, because the hands that created the universe are ready to restore what the enemy tried to steal. Joel 2:25, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. I know some of you are afraid that if you open, you will be vulnerable, afraid that if you open, you will be rejected again, afraid that if you open, you will fail publicly. Chosen one, fear is the liar's weapon. Fear is the chains that bind your faith. Fear is the fog that keeps you from seeing the light God is trying to shine into your life. Open immediately and let faith break through fear. Open immediately and let courage rise where doubt has lived. Open immediately and let the Spirit of God give you strength you cannot summon on your own. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough for years. Some of you have been crying out for provision, for healing, for clarity. Some of you have been asking for doors to open, for opportunities to arrive, for relationships to be restored. And while you've been waiting, God has been working behind the scenes. While you've been praying, He has been moving. While you've been hoping, He has been aligning. And now, chosen one, He is saying, stop. Stop waiting passively. Stop doubting quietly. Stop hiding in hesitation. Open immediately and receive what I have prepared. I see some of you thinking, but what if I open and it's not enough? What if the blessing doesn't come in the way I imagined? Chosen one, God's blessings are always more than enough. They are not limited by your imagination, your fear, your understanding. Ephesians 3:20, now to Him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly, above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Stop underestimating what God can do in your life. Stop thinking your faith is too small or your prayer too weak. Open immediately and watch the impossible manifest. Some of you have been waiting for validation from people, for recognition from the world, for applause from the wrong sources. But chosen one, the affirmation you need is already in your spirit. The validation you seek is already in the Word. The confirmation you long for is already in God's heart. Open immediately to His approval. Stop chasing man's opinion and step into God's plan. Stop looking to the world and start looking to the King of Kings. Colossians 3:2-3-2-4. Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord, and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. Stop carrying burdens that were never meant for you alone. Stop holding on to resentment, anger, bitterness, and shame. Open immediately to forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Open immediately to grace, mercy, and healing. Open immediately to the life God has been waiting for you to embrace. Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. I know some of you feel unprepared. I know some of you feel too broken, too young, too old, too weak, too inexperienced. But chosen one, God does not call the ready. He calls the willing. He does not choose perfection. He perfects the called. 1 Corinthians 1:27-9. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Your willingness to open immediately is the spark that ignites the power of God in your life. Your obedience is the key that unlocks the blessing. Stop waiting for every condition to feel perfect. Stop trying to predict the outcome. Stop believing you have to see the full staircase before taking the first step. Open immediately, because faith is stepping forward when you cannot see the full picture. Open immediately because obedience always precedes blessing. Open immediately because God's plan is flawless and your timing is perfect in His hands. Some of you have been carrying unspoken grief, hidden sorrow, silenced pain, private battles, and you've thought no one knows, no one sees, no one cares. But heaven has been watching. Angels have been dispatched. The Spirit of God has been moving quietly, preparing, orchestrating, aligning, and He is saying, stop trying to carry it all yourself. Open immediately and let me fight your battles, heal your wounds, and restore your joy. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. I see some of you standing on the edge, fearful to step forward, fearful to believe, fearful to hope. But chosen one, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward in spite of fear. Courage is responding to God when your heart trembles. Courage is obeying His voice when the world says no. Open immediately and let courage rise. Open immediately and let faith conquer doubt. Open immediately and let hope drown despair. Some of you have been waiting for love, for connection, for intimacy, for partnership. And you've been closing your heart, protecting yourself, guarding your emotions. Stop. Stop hiding. Stop resisting. Stop fearing vulnerability. Open immediately to God's love first and watch how He orchestrates the relationships, the friendships, the connections, the covenant relationships that He has designed for your life. Song of Solomon 2:4. He brought me to the banqueting house, and His banner over me was love. Stop trying to manage life with clenched fists. Stop trying to control what God is orchestrating. Stop believing that your effort alone will yield results. Open immediately and let Him move. Open immediately and let Him work. Open immediately and let His wisdom guide your steps. Open immediately and let His favor direct your path. Psalm 90:17. And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands. Chosen one, this is not a rehearsal. This is not optional. This is not a suggestion. This is your moment, your appointment, your divine invitation. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop fearing. Open immediately. Step into your destiny, your purpose, your calling. Step into the life God has been preparing for you since before the foundation of the world. Step into obedience. Step into obedience. Step into power. Step into blessing. Step into freedom. Step into restoration. Step into joy. Step into love. Step into everything that heaven has waiting for you. I know some of you think you've waited too long. I know some of you feel like the blessing should have arrived yesterday. I know some of you are tired of patience, tired of struggle, tired of uncertainty. But chosen one, God's timing is perfect. His plan is perfect. His promise is perfect. And the moment you open immediately, you will see that all that waiting was not wasted. All that struggle was not in vain. All that patience was preparing you for the fullness of what He has promised. Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Open immediately, it will not lie. Open immediately, chosen one, because the life you've been praying for, longing for, hoping for, and believing for is ready for you now. Open immediately to faith. Open immediately to obedience. Open immediately to the Word. Open immediately to the Spirit. Open immediately to the blessing. Open immediately to the breakthrough. Open immediately to the joy. Open immediately to the purpose. Open immediately to the destiny. Open immediately because God is calling, and He will not wait forever. Chosen one, I need you to understand something crucial. God's plans for you are bigger than any mistake you have made, any failure you have experienced, any doubt you have entertained. He is not limited by your past. He is not constrained by your circumstances. He is not hindered by your insecurities. Isaiah 43:18, 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Stop living under the shadow of yesterday. Stop allowing regret to dictate your tomorrow. Open immediately and step into the new thing that God is doing. Some of you are exhausted. You're weary from fighting battles that seem endless. You're tired of praying, tired of hoping, tired of believing, only to feel like nothing changes. But chosen one, the same God who carried Israel through the desert, the same God who raised Lazarus, the same God who calmed the storm, He is fighting for you right now. Exodus 14:14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stop trying to battle everything alone. Stop trying to control the outcomes. Open immediately and let Him fight for you. I know some of you have been waiting for clarity, waiting for signs, waiting for confirmation, waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop overthinking, stop doubting, stop analyzing every detail. Open immediately and watch how God brings clarity in ways that surpass human understanding. Proverbs 16:9, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. The moment you open, the fog lifts, the pieces fall into place, the plan becomes clear. Some of you have been carrying hidden pain, wounds that no one else sees. You've been wounded by family, by friends, by circumstances, by your own choices, and those wounds have made you hesitant, cautious, fearful to open your heart. But chosen one, God's healing cannot flow if your heart is closed. Open immediately to restoration, to wholeness, to peace. Open immediately to forgiveness, to mercy, to love. Open immediately and let the Spirit of God mend what has been broken. Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Stop living in fear of the unknown. Stop holding back because of what might happen. Stop letting uncertainty paralyze you. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward in spite of fear. Faith is opening immediately when you don't know the outcome. Faith is trusting God even when the path is unclear. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I know some of you have been waiting for relationships, for love, for connection. Some of you have been hurt, disappointed, or rejected. Some of you are afraid to open your heart again. But chosen one, the right love, the divine connection, will only come when your heart is open to God first. Song of Solomon 2:4. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. Open immediately to God's love, and watch how he orchestrates the relationships that align with your purpose, bless your life, and honor your calling. Some of you are trying to control everything, trying to force outcomes, trying to manipulate circumstances. Stop. Stop believing that your effort alone will create the result. Open immediately, and let God's power work where your hands cannot. Open immediately, and let his wisdom guide where your mind cannot comprehend. Open immediately, and let his favor direct where your planning fails. Psalm 90:17. And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands. And you may feel unworthy. You may feel too broken, too flawed, too ordinary. Chosen one, God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. God does not call the perfect, he perfects the chosen. 1 Corinthians 1:27-9. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Your willingness to open immediately is enough. Your obedience is enough. Your trust is enough. The rest, God will handle. Stop waiting for perfection. Stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting for readiness. Open immediately, because the blessing is ready. The promise is ready. The miracle is ready. Heaven is waiting for your yes. The Spirit is moving for your obedience. God's timing is perfect, and his plan is flawless. Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Some of you are afraid to hope, afraid to dream, afraid to believe that life can change. But chosen one, hope is the anchor of the soul. Faith without hope is like a ship without a rudder. Hebrews 6:19, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, both sure and steadfast. Open immediately, and let hope rise. Open immediately, and let joy awaken. Open immediately, and let peace descend. Open immediately, and let life shift. I know some of you have been waiting for financial breakthrough, waiting for doors to open, opportunities to arrive, resources to manifest. Stop waiting passively. Stop doubting quietly. Stop fearing silently. Open immediately, and let God's provision flow. Open immediately, and let favor meet your diligence. Open immediately, and let doors swing open that no one can shut. Philippians 4:19. And my God shall supply all your need, according to his riches in glory, by Christ Jesus. Some of you have been waiting for healing, physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing. Stop believing that it will come on its own. Stop resigning yourself to the struggle. Open immediately, and let the power of God restore what has been broken. Open immediately, and let his Spirit bring life where there has been death, hope where there has been despair, freedom where there has been captivity. Isaiah 53:5. By his stripes we are healed. Open immediately, because the life you've been waiting for will not wait forever. The opportunities, the blessings, the relationships, the breakthroughs, everything you've been praying for is ready for you, but only if you open, only if you obey. The door is swinging. The Spirit is calling. Heaven is moving. Don't miss it. Stop trying to control the timing. Stop trying to orchestrate the details. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop doubting your ability. Stop fearing the unknown. Open immediately, and let God's power manifest in your weakness. Open immediately, and let his wisdom guide your steps. Open immediately, and let his favor saturate your life. Some of you have been holding on to resentment, anger, bitterness, shame, and regret. Stop carrying it. Stop letting it control you. Stop letting it block your blessing. Open immediately to forgiveness, to grace, to mercy, and to love. Open immediately and watch how God transforms your life when your heart is no longer shackled by the past. Colossians 3:13. Bear with one another and forgive one another if anyone has a complaint against another. Even as Christ forgave you, so you also must. I see some of you thinking about the obstacles, the mountains, the challenges. Some of you are saying, how can this happen? How can I overcome? How can I succeed? Chosen one, remember, God specializes in impossibilities. He excels where humans fail. Luke 1:37, for nothing will be impossible with God. Open immediately and let the impossible become possible. Open immediately and let the mountains move. Open immediately and let the chains break. Open immediately and let the path be clear. D, you may feel like it's too late. You may feel like the blessing has passed. You may feel like you've waited too long. Chosen one, it is never too late for God. His timing is not your timing. His plans are perfect. His promises are faithful. 2 Peter 3:9, the Lord is not slow to fulfill his promise as some count slowness, but is patient toward you, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should reach repentance. Open immediately and step into what has been prepared for you. Stop delaying your destiny. Stop waiting for comfort. Stop waiting for clarity. Stop waiting for certainty. Open immediately to faith. Open immediately to obedience. Open immediately to the Spirit. Open immediately to the Word. Open immediately and let God move in your life like never before. Chosen one, hear me now. Your moment is here. All the waiting, all the tears, all the struggle, all the doubts, and all the unanswered questions have brought you to this exact point. God has been faithful while you were patient. He has been working while you were weary, and he has been preparing while you were unready. The chains that held you back are breaking. The doors that were closed are swinging wide open, and the life he promised you is ready to be lived. Do not let fear, doubt, hesitation, or pride keep you from receiving what heaven has prepared. Open immediately. Step boldly. Trust fully. Obey without delay. The blessings, the purpose, the destiny, and the joy you have been longing for will not arrive through delay. They will come through your obedience. The power of God moves when the chosen one responds. So rise up, chosen one. Lift your hands. Open your heart. Speak your yes to God. Step into the calling that only you can fulfill. Step into the love that only he can provide. Step into the miracles that only he can perform. Step into the fullness of life, the abundance of blessing, the richness of purpose, and the eternity of joy he has prepared for you. Remember, heaven is waiting for your yes, and God's plan cannot be delayed any longer. Your faith, your obedience, your courage, and your willingness to open immediately will release everything he has been holding in readiness for you. Chosen one, open, step forward, and walk boldly into the destiny that is rightfully yours, knowing that God himself is with you every step of the way. Your moment is now. Open immediately and live the life you were created to live.